Hello, welcome to Beyond 1800 with BTS. It is the countdown to the new year, to 2024, the year of the dragon. It's New Year's Eve. So, to all of you, I'm sending all my positive vibes and energies and wishes, best wishes for the new year. So, as we do this countdown, we're going to do a reading. But also before that, I'd like to say hello and thank you to the viewers or listeners or guests who took the time over the past month or so, because I just really started the reading project a month ago. Yes, those of you who took the time to check out the Beyond the Story book and maybe some of the other videos I've recorded, like the Christmas specials, and just the also the songs of Jimin, Jungkook. Yes, so if you took the time to visit the channel, thank you very much. And I'd like to acknowledge all of you and wish you all a very happy new year. So there were visitors from 32 countries. So those countries are India, Namaste, Japan, Konnichiwa, United States, Australia, hello, Russia, Привет, Brazil, Hola, South Korea, 안녕하세요, Philippines, Kumusta, Indonesia, hello also, Bangladesh, the same, hello, Singapore, hello, United Kingdom, hello, Germany. All I know is Guten Morgen and Guten Nabend. That's good night. Um, Taiwan, hello. Malaysia, Pakistan, Mexico, Thailand, Myanmar or Burma, Sri Lanka, Canada, France, Nepal, Vietnam, Poland, Hong Kong, Italy. Oh, buongiorno. Well, France is bonjour, yes. Um, Peru, Ukraine, Spain, so all the Spanish-speaking countries, hola, in Netherlands. So thank you. Thank you for dropping by and just looking at also the demographics. They hit every age. So thank you for that. Even if you just you know, did a split second sort of like check, that's still great. Thank you. Those of you who stayed um to listen, especially to the narrations or the readings. It's not easy to to listen to a reading. So thank you very, very much. So we're going to now resume the reading. We're in chapter 6. Okay. So chapter 6 is the world of BTS. Subheading: I'm listening to you. The history of boy band fandom begins in the West. But bands like BTS, with popularity that transcends national boundaries and can hold arena tours in Asia, North America, and Europe, are decidedly few and far between. Not to mention bands that have vast fandoms holding the same official light sticks and calling themselves a single moniker, Army in this case. The Army, ARMY, stands for Adorable Representative MC4 Youth. The Western media began comparing Army to Beatlemania, the fandom of the Beatles. Army was so sensational, Western journalists had to go all the way back to the Beatles to come up with an equivalent comparison. BTS also took almost 6 years getting to that SNL or Saturday Night Live stage. 6 years of almost unprecedented growth in popularity, both in terms of sales and geographic reach. And they were Korean artists singing in the Korean language on the SNL stage, making American Army scream to boot. It was all truly unprecedented. BTS's popularity cannot be put down to a single factor. One fan might have been attracted by their looks at first, another by their performances, and maybe another would have caught a fun video Army had made that made them curious about the band. But more than all these questioning about where their popularity comes from, it's important to look at the answers provided by Army. For example, during the Generation Unlimited campaign event in September 2018, where BTS delivered a speech at the UN General Assembly exhorting youth to speak yourself, social media was flooded by Army expressing themselves and talking of their journeys of finding themselves and building up their self-esteem. Through the music of BTS, Army learned of tragic events in Korean history, such as the May 18 Gwangju democratization movement and the seawall disaster, and express their condolences and offer solidarity to those affected. Not only that, when the COVID-19 pandemic began about a year after Map of the Soul Persona was released, Army had donated up to 2 billion Korean won by September 2020, only counting the verified amount. This is from Weaver's magazine. The donations covered not only education and health, which were directly affected worldwide during the pandemic, but also human rights and the protection of animals. While it was difficult to ascertain what made them interested in BTS in the first place, there is one clear theme that echoes through this fandom across the world. And that theme is that by being fans of BTS, they found new directions for their lives. This wasn't, of course, something exclusive to Army when it came to fandom in K-pop. The K-pop fandoms that came before them were also proactive in their donating for all kinds of causes. But when BTS reached worldwide fame, other K-pop fandoms around the world began to echo this tendency. Through the particular form of unity that K-pop fandoms have, fans would express their identities and also speak out on various political and social issues outside of K-pop. And today, it has become the norm for any K-pop fandom to express their positions on not only the issues of the countries they live in, but issues the world has in common. As the SNL teaser described it, Western media's image of boy band fandom is women in their teens and 20s who stay up all night to catch a glimpse of the groups they like and chat about their favorite members for hours. There is some truth to this, as it has been since Filmania. But as much time as BTS's fans spend on raving over their favorite band, they also each have lives they are living out as individuals. Which is why, perhaps, the question to ask ARMY and any K-pop fan or any fan of any artist around the world is not, why are you a fan? But, what life beyond being a fan are you living now? Only then can we get a step closer to the young Saudi Arabian women in their traditional clothes gathered around a stadium to catch the faintest utterance of their favorite artists, practicing inside, shouting their names in recognition. A moment to reflect here. I do agree that it is a common thing to have stereotypes about the fandom or the following of boy bands or bands for that matter. There's a basis perhaps for those stereotypes. Just as they say, I don't know, they have a term or they have terminologies for, say, those who follow a rock band. Then, of course, those who follow a boy band, yeah? I'm not sure if there's also a term for following single, solo artists. The question, I guess, I want to just throw out there is, what if these stereotypes don't hold anymore? Like, they're not true. The world has changed, and also by excluding a certain demographic, say you're going to say they're all women or they're mostly women and all of that, because there are men too, and of various ages, who appreciate all these different artists and different bands. And I guess that's what gives rise to the, negativity. And I don't also understand why there's a negativity to people of a certain gender who appreciate an artist. Why is that a negative thing? Yeah. So in the case of Bangtan Sonyeondan, their original fans, yes, would have been people of their age, the age of BTS at that time. And that's why BTS says, they grow together with their fans. Hang on. Okay, sorry for the ad. As I was saying, BTS says that, the fans grew older, same as BTS, because maybe most of them were about the same ages, between that late teens to early 20s. But the reach now and the size of the fandom of BTS, which I think a lot of countries, especially in the West and even in South Korea, have difficulty wrapping their heads around, is that ARMY is really more than a specific age group or a specific gender, a demographic. It's really the general public, yeah, who have become ARMY. So I think there has to be a paradigm shift with regards to fandoms. Because I don't think that the stereotype really holds true. And that may be the case for also other K-pop bands, yeah? But what I know is the ARMY is just massive. It's really huge compared to other fandoms of other K-pop groups. And a lot of us ARMYs are professionals. So, and, doing really very well in our respective careers. And of course, those who are young are, exceptional young people. And some are still studying. Some probably are, working and studying. So, yes, very intelligent and experienced and wise ARMYs out there of both, you have males and females and all the genders. So, all the ethnicity, all the different nationalities. Through the SNL performance, BTS took a decisive step toward ARMY. They performed Boy With Love, the title song of Map of the Soul Persona, and Mic Drop. Originally featured in Love Yourself Her, Mic Drop in particular is a song in the hip-hop genre that requires a dynamic performance from start to finish. And Boy With Love is the opposite, one of the BTS's most upbeat and cheerful pop songs. The range between these two songs seems to encapsulate the relationship between BTS and ARMY. Mic Drop is a swagger of a song, a declaration of their golden era of success. This swagger is not just bragging, but a message of victory. The lyrics go, "Don't need to see you anymore. This is the last farewell. Don't got no words to tell. Don't even apologize." Contextually, the song is probably aimed at the haters who had harassed them since their debut. On the other hand, Boy With Love is about the small things that came together from the beginning into a massive upward force that made them soar. In other words, it was the story of ARMY. In the lyrics, BTS hoped to meet ARMY at eye level through words like, "I want you tuned in to my eyes," as they talk of their current success in "Now It's So High Up Here," and of ARMY who BTS are curious about everything. They have this to ask: "Come be my teacher. Teach me everything about you." If Mic Drop was the process of proving themselves through their success, Boy With Love, featuring Halsey, is a declaration that they would let ARMY tell their stories first. It is the history of how an artist had come to put the voices of their fandom first, the fandom that had always been there to cheer them on. BTS made their fans the main character of their album and began telling the stories that their fans had wanted to tell. Jungkook, comparing the influence of BTS member Jungkook as opposed to the human individual Jungkook, has this to say. I don't think there's such a clear line dividing the two. In any case, as Jungkook of BTS, I am speaking to the fans who look toward me, which is why I want to tell them positive stories, because I believe that I, too, have the power to give hope. Next subheading. I'll speak very frankly. RM's rap in Boy With Love, featuring Halsey, begins with the phrase, I'll speak very frankly. He speaks without filter of the realities faced by BTS and their thoughts as they achieved unprecedented success in the history of contemporary music in Korea. The lyrics go, sometimes I was a little stuck up. Elevated sky, expanded halls. Sometimes I prayed, let me run away. He captured in his lyrics the outpouring of feelings regarding their surge in popularity after the Love Yourself series. A surge so intense it was almost humanly impossible to handle. RM's expression, I'll speak very frankly, was written on the spur of the moment. When I write lyrics, I absolutely have to go inside the narrator's mind because I need to enter the world of the song. But when I write my rap part after having written the song lyrics, I kind of run out of things to say, RM laughs. I might write some song lyrics and forget about them for 2 weeks until someone says, Hey, RM, you haven't written your rap yet. That's the hardest part. When the song is all written up and my rap is the last part that needs to go in. This was also a song where we were just wrapping up production and I had a thought. I'll speak very frankly. RM laughs. Still, if I were to ask myself, was this the best you could do? Then I would still answer, it was the best. In Map of the Soul persona, BTS's central intended message was that they would listen to the voices of ARMY. And as ARMY became the main character of the album, the narrator became the BTS we know today. RM says the following regarding the change he personally experienced through Boy With Love featuring Halsey. I feel like I said, I'll speak very frankly because I really wanted to be frank. It's weird to think about now. Because when I wrote it, I thought, are you really going to write it like this? And couldn't believe what I was doing. RM laughs. I don't think I would have been brave enough to do that before. I would have changed the expression. In that sense, intro persona, RM's solo song, and the opening track of this album was like a declaration of where this change in attitude would take BTS's music. In this song, which starts with the line, Who am I? The question I had my entire life. RM wonders about where one is in life now with how you feel. How are you feeling right now? and then confesses his honest thoughts on the fame that follows superstardom. Actually, I'm real good, but a little uncomfortable. I'm still not sure if I'm a dog or a pig or what else, but others come and cast the pearl necklace on me. On the lyrics of Intro Persona, RM says the following: "To this day, when I see my name in the entertainment section of the news, I get scared. I sometimes imagine the kind of headlines that might come up one day, like, 'Not someone who deserves this fame,' quotation marks. 'Not really talented, actually mediocre, very bad,' in quotation marks. 'Look at him as he is,' quotation marks. Those kinds of fantasies. This is why RM came up with the persona concept. I looked up a lot of things on the concept of the persona, and once I had done some thinking on it, I simplified the concept as a social mask and began to work on it. As well trodden as it is, I could not help but bring up the questions. Who am I? I was skeptical myself, thinking, writing these lines is already so not cool. RM laughs. But then the song wouldn't have made sense if I took them out. Beginning with this question to himself, RM began writing the lyrics to this song as they came to mind. Working separately from the soundscape of BTS's music that was becoming more and more intricate, he wrote and recorded his lyrics on the spot as if doing a live performance, bringing out his inner voice as much as possible. When I received the beat track for the first time, I was a little surprised. There was just this repeating beat, a guitar, and really nothing else. So I was like, what do you want me to do with this? RM laughs. I needed a sense of an intro and a middle and an end to write the climax. RM laughs as he says this, but the simplicity of the track he was given for intro persona gave him the opportunity to be even more daring than before in telling his story. RM continued, since the track had so little to it, the emptiness I needed to fill was that much bigger. So I could say a lot of things in the song, and I wrote it pretty easily. There's the word reveal in it. I just thought, let's just do what I want. Wasn't this what I've wanted to do all along? I know things are a bit confusing right now, but let's let it out a little. I figured it would be all right to be a bit verbose. RM was born on September 12, 1994. When he debuted in 2013, he was just shy of 19. And as mentioned before, other rappers would criticize him to his face or diss him. But 5 years later, he was on top of the Billboard 200, and after releasing an album with the message to love yourself, he was preparing an album full of messages for ARMY. RM and the other members of BTS seemed to have completed their story. They had overcome the odds and reached incredible heights with the people who supported them. But as young men in their 20s, they were still in the process of finding out who they were as individuals. RM adds, what I wanted to say through intro persona was just an excuse, a confession, persuasion, an encouragement toward myself. Time is passing. I'm still standing here, and people are putting all sorts of labels on me. I couldn't avoid any of that as long as I lived, but maybe there was one last part of me that only I could define. And if that part joined another part that even I nor anyone else could ever define, then my yesterday and today can be created from there. The sound that begins intro persona is identical to the sound when RM begins the rap in the middle of intro School Love Affair, the first song in the album School Love Affair, released in 2014. Also, the title of the song Boy in Love in the School Love Affair album is referenced by the title of the song Boy with Love in the album Map of the Soul Persona. In Boy in Love, BTS were narrating the longing to be loved by someone else. And now, with Boy with Love featuring Halsey, they are asking about the lives of ARMY and shifting to the position of giving love. BTS convey their changing thoughts and emotions by looking back at their past and in the process discovering their present. They had seemingly gone as far as they could as superstars. They no longer had to prove themselves to the world, but to these young men in their 20s, the task of drawing the map of the soul in search of answers to the question of who am I was only beginning. And we will end here. Happy New Year! And thank you so much for just visiting. And if you had time for listening or viewing some of the videos I've posted, I'm very grateful. And I wish all of you many blessings in 2024, good health, prosperity, and the abundance of joy and love throughout the year. Happy New Year, happy Year of the Dragon to everyone. Until next time, this is 1800 Beyond 1800 with BTS.